Mark, what's up, my fellow traveler? How are you, brother? How are you
So
today?
I'm good. You're at a stopover. You just left Phoenix,
I
and
did.
we get to see you playing Tom Hanks in the airport. Happy Friday. Happy St. Patrick's to you, Mr. Dave Cooper.
Hey, look at this, man. I got green St. Patrick's Day socks on, thanks to our good friends at Autodesk over there. They lent me a pair just to wear.
Wow. Does that mean you have to give them back?
Nope, nope. They said I can keep them. I got a pair of orange ones too. You want the orange ones?
I'll take the orange ones, Dave. Perfect.
Absolutely, yeah. We were just out in Phoenix, Arizona. Our good friend Andrew Seeley was there, and Andrew Seeley was up for an award. So that was great just to see that he was part of the whole thing. And unfortunately, didn't walk with the award, but just to be named as somebody was absolutely amazing. So
Yeah.
super super
You were
happy
up
for
for
him.
an award too, weren't you?
I was up. I was a runner up to the runner up.
You
Yeah,
know,
with Jamie from Bryden Woods won an award. Now this guy's been knighted by the Queen, so he deserves an award.
Okay. Well, Knighted by the Queen is something we're all striving for. This is cool. So you're fresh out of Arizona,
I am.
and are you going to a hockey game or what are you up to?
Yeah, in about an hour and a half from now, after this show, we will be at Notre Dame. The girls are playing at Notre
Wow.
Dame in the stadium there in a hockey tournament this weekend, which I hear is absolutely beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Love it. Love it. So, Dave, on the end of a advancing prefab show, we're gearing up for a JLC live show in Providence, Rhode Island. It's the 24th and 25th, and Westlake Royal Building Products will be there. But today, we get the full lineup from our buddy CJ, and very fortunate to see all these products coming in. So, what do you think about that?
And I think it's going to be amazing. This show. All the big players go. Matt Reisinger's usually there. We look at Steve Basic. Big Red's always there. It's really a place to be if you're going to get into the technical details of how building happens, and those guys are all there. And I know if it's like everywhere else, they're probably having a great time teaching their knowledge to everybody. And I'm sure our guest today is going to be doing the same thing for us.
Well, I know that CJ's not attending the show, but you're going to see folks that we know
Yep.
working with those products. Everyone from Ben Bogey to Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't be surprised if a product you've used and a product you're using one of your projects is actually from Westlake because they have an immense amount of brands, and sometimes we're not even sure that this is who it's from. So you're gonna get some tips and tricks today, Dave.
You know what? I love tips and tricks. We got a whole presentation we're going to run through. We got some videos that we're going to show, and we have a guest that seems like he's a lot of fun. It might be one of those shows where we just sit back and watch, Mark.
I went through the slides, Dave. You went through the slides. We're in for it. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And for all the folks that watch it later, remember to share this with your community and follow up. Say hello to CJ. Say hello to Westlake. And speaking of that, let's say hello, Dave.
Let's say hello, everybody. Let's give a big round of applause for CJ. CJ, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you very much for inviting us to be on.
Yeah. Well, no, listen, I mean, it's always our honor to have people that take the time to come on this show because we know it takes out of your busy lives as well. So thank you for being here, and thanks for parting with all your knowledge and wisdom to all the people out there that tune in every week and every weekend just to see what the heck that crazy guy below me is up to all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's our pleasure. Westlake Royal Building Products is really coming on strong, and as you said, we'll be at JLC, and you'll be able to see a lot of these products that we're going to talk about today. So,
Outstanding, outstanding.
Little
Go ahead, Mark.
little known fact, Dave. all of us arrived early
Yeah.
to Las Vegas, right? And Sunday was a work day and Monday was a work day. But the event kicked off on Tuesday, and by Thursday, our shoulders were down a little bit, maybe our feet were a little worn, and we couldn't get enough waters in us from all the talking we were doing. So the
Mhm.
show floor is cleared out, Dave,
Okay.
and there's a few people left, and they was doing filming in front of the huge bright display, right? Gigantic display of Westlake Royal. And there's CJ going through the materials. So there's already been the announcements, clear the show, clear the show. He's not stopping. He is going through it and say, you guys got to see this. So literally the security left us all alone and we sat there for probably an extra half hour going through it. That's the joy of our industry. It doesn't matter. A show is over. We're going to keep going because this is passion, man. This is what it's all about.
Yeah,
I love
it
it.
is.
Anyone who wants to talk products, let's go.
Oh, hey, listen, we're going to get into that, CJ, but in true fashion on this show, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Don't leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital because we will call a family member, and Mark Wille's mom happens to tune in quite regularly, and she is waiting to interview them. Anywho, you only have a minute to do it. Tell us who you are, where you come from, what your background is, and then let's hop into the products.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I've been with Westlake Royal Building Products now for about 10 years. Came from a totally different industry and happy as can be to be in building products. Someone told me when I first started, once you get in, you never get out. So I figure I'm going to end my career here, but that's after a bunch more cool product launches that we've got planned. But the thing I love to do when I'm not here at work is spend time in the Finger Lakes of upstate New York. If you haven't been there, you got to go.
Yeah, the Finger Lakes of upstate New York is absolutely awesome. Mark, you should be going up there to take your canoe.
I'm telling you, the way, like you
Yeah.
guys are speaking a whole language there, the Finger Lakes. So when you say upper New York, where are we talking?
We're talking Western New York, south of Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse area.
Yeah. Okay. And is this a springtime trip, a summer trip, a fall trip, or throughout the non-snow season?
Throughout the non-snow season, any time's a good time to be in the Finger Lakes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
for sure, for sure. Well, let's do this, CJ. I want to make sure we have time and we get through all of the products and we get through any questions that may linger out there. And then obviously we want to give some love to all the people that tune in and say hello. So how about we hop into this, Mark?
I think it's go time. And if you didn't know time, right, this is Westlake Royal Building Products. And CJ, let's start with the slides and get us going.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So really, the thing I want to start with is we are part of a parent company called Westlake Corporation. They're a Fortune 500 company with over $16 billion of market capitalization. And the thing about them is they want to invest in building products, right? They have two divisions that they report on. One is housing and infrastructure. So they're absolutely committed to this industry. And Westlake Royal Building Products came as a result of a bunch of their acquisitions. So if we can switch the slide, or maybe I'll just take over. Westlake Royal Building Products came through several acquisitions. We're now a huge company with 6 solutions groups, right? And we call them solutions groups because our goal is to find answers to the problems that people are having, whether that is contractors, builders, designers, whatever the case may be. We're in 6 solutions groups, those being siding, which is where I'm the director of product management for, trim and moldings, roofing, stone, windows, and outdoor living. So fantastic set of products. And you referenced IBS, right? We came out and introduced our new branding at Westlake Royal Building Products at the IBS show. It's called Boundless. When we looked at the range of opportunities that we were providing, we decided that that's a tagline that really encompasses what we're trying to achieve, whether that's boundless design, boundless innovation, boundless opportunities. low maintenance, whatever the case may be. Boundless was a tagline that we decided could cover it. But what I think really tells the story for Boundless is when you look at the range of brands that we cover. So in our own siding solutions group, we've got 2 different brands of vinyl siding, 2 different brands of insulated siding, 3 different brands of high-end premium siding. We actually have 4 brands of shutters, mounts, and vents, one working shutter company as well, and then 2 shake companies. It's fantastic, the range of products we have. And that's just in the siding solutions group, right? We have 4 different trim brands, including the recent acquisition of the Palette trim boards. We also have 5 different roofing brands, including Da Vinci, which you have to come see. They'll be in booth 208 at JLC. And then on the stone side, market leaders with Eldorado and Cultured Stone. So an amazing array of products. But we like to make the products go first. So we sort of consider ourselves a house of brands, right? You're going to know these brands. We're just tying it all together so that we can make it easy for the customers to get access to these products.
I think the terminology used is so natural. A house of brands is so right. Like, I'm always shocked with the vastness that's here. And there's a reason, right, that we're starting with siding, right? Because all of us know, first of all, the protection it does for our facades, right? But at another level, our end clients, right? Those consumers that are living and enjoying these spaces, they're not in the world of solutions. They're in the world of this looks great. This is sexy. So the fact that that whole layer is there for the end consumer is perfect. That allows the pros to deliver the tried and true solution so that all they're worried about is what color they're picking, not that not that performance part and not the install part, because you've already worked that out. Brilliant. As you said, boundless.
Boundless opportunity. And you said it, right? We survey what customers want, right? And beauty is almost always at the top of the list. They want to redo the siding because they want a better looking home. They also want high performance. They don't want to maintain their home. They want peace of mind because they're investing quite a bit of money. And even some people are looking for green solutions more and more as we go forward. So we're trying to think about those things during every one of our new product development initiatives. And I think we really deliver, which we'll talk about as we go forward.
How big is Westlake? Give me an idea, like employee wise. Are you just in the United States? Are you in Canada? Are you in Europe?
We're Westlake Royal Building Products itself is U.S. and Canada. We've got some 70-some manufacturing facilities across all the brands. I don't have a good number for employees. But if you take it up to the reporting level of housing and infrastructure, that's about a $5 billion segment, which is huge. It's bigger than known other commodity or products like James Hardie, right? That housing infrastructure is bigger. So it's quite a big part of it. And the company's shown a willingness to invest that I expect will continue.
70 facilities. That's mind blowing. And then Dave, something that CJ said there is a great follow up to our early discussion on IBS. And CJ, you said a lot of the clients out there are looking for high performance, and our big recap conversation from IBS was that high performance is a mainstream topic now. And so it's great that you guys have done the market study to actually show that that data is there too, not just what we're hearing on the streets and in all the meetings that we're at. Thank you for delivering that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Our pleasure.
Sure.
We got to know what that is.
I thought for sure, Mark, you were going to talk about, why our show does so well, CJ, because we have Mark and he is good looking and sexy too. And I think, this is the perfect show for this guy. 100%.
I'm trying to use more hand gestures to keep up with them.
There you go.
But
There you go.
listen,
Well, your slides tell a better story than these
yeah.
hands. Totally.
Well, I have used a lot of these products as well throughout my building career. I know Da Vinci; they got beautiful products for sure, and clear. So I know a lot of these products, but I didn't know that they were all part of Westlake. So this is pretty incredible.
Yeah, really. We've spent since the last round of acquisitions, really the year getting it all together, and now it's really in force. We're acting as one Westlake Royal Building Products, and I think the future is bright. But
Absolutely. All right, teach us, man. Teach us.
let's talk about some of these brands, right, that you may have heard about or don't know a little bit about. So I'm going to focus on some of the high-end siding brands. And usually start with an image because, again, it's all about looks. That's the first reason. So we have this one siding called Cedar Renditions that is the look of stained wood without the ongoing maintenance. And you can see this is a very modern look. You see it in all the high-end design magazines. But this is a painted on product, right? It's painted on aluminum with a PVDF paint that is outstanding for fade resistance. It's got the flat face plank look that people like. You can see in the middle planks that it has an overlap so you can get infinite length runs. And then when you take some of the lighter tonalities and darker tonalities, put them right next to each other, it looks like real wood because real wood boards don't uptake the stain the same way, board after board after board. And so this is a spectacular product.
I'm going to lean into my screen while you have this image up, and you hear that? It's like knocking on wood. Perfect.
Exactly. People love it, and you see a lot of people using real wood, and it looks great. But unfortunately, they're going to be out there in a couple of years maintaining it, if not next year. This gives them the look of wood without that maintenance. Matter of fact,
I'm guilty of that. And as we went through the slides ahead of time, when I see things, I have to then go back and do the research and say, what am I seeing here? Because I didn't believe you. I went back to the website and I was like, I should believe him. I don't believe him because my eyes are telling me something different. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. So, here is a couple of things I've talked about right there. There is this PVDF paint coverage. It's non-combustible because it's aluminum. We have matching trim coils and a full set of accessories. And as we'll talk about in a different section, we've just launched this same color palette in a new board and batten panel. And board and batten panels have exploded. It's our highest growing profile we've seen. And you can see the type of quality of homes that we're building in the picture on the right. It's just home after home looks spectacular. And we've seen it even used on multifamily, right? A couple squares of this goes a long way in terms of design quotient. So,
it does have that accent portion, but here's the part for the pros and the people specifying, right? This is a non-consumer part of the conversation. What he said there is that this also has the matching trim coil. So oftentimes you might see something that's mimicking that look of wood and that's spec'd, and then the folks involved with the install, the folks actually doing this in the field can't use the project because how do you interface it with the rest of the facade? You actually can't. So when you have the trim coil here, this allows that flashing and that capping to move forward. And so this way, the decision for the sexy look, the decision for the color palette, for the accent or the whole broad stroke area can actually be delivered because of that word we talked about before. This is solution based. That happens to be sexy. This is really important to note that.
yeah, no, thanks for picking that up because again, it's our thought process throughout. And I saw a home recently where they had some columns that were wrapped in cedar renditions, and it was something we hadn't contemplated, but they used our trim coil to give this great design look. So it's really important.
Tell me about the finish a little bit on this, because when I start thinking about metal and then paint, and the durability of that, scratch resistant on a job site, all of those things. I'm sure this is something that's been top on your mind when you were designing and researching the product, and I'm sure there's a way to protect how that holds up. But tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, the main thing is what's the paint choice you're using, right? You can't use an acrylic paint on this and expect it to have the ongoing durability. So, right, a lot of metal roofs will use PVDF as a paint. A FedEx truck is going to be painted in PVDF, and you don't see that fading over time. So, we picked this high-end base paint, and that is the fundamental thing. It's fairly durable, and it's exceptional for fade resistance.
Thank you. Perfect.
Sure. Okay, let's go to another one of these. Select cellular composite siding, right? This is PVC based with an amazing coating, but where it really stands out is this interlocking seam. We are linking the panels together with an interlocking seam, and you can see how this has almost a virtually seamless look. It is, I'll dare say, the best in the industry. You're not leaving a gap between the two boards to allow the moisture to drip out from that. You are not doing an overlap seam like you might do with vinyl siding. This has a spectacular seam. On top of it, it's a board-like product, and because you're attaching it just like vinyl siding with 2 points of attachment to the wall, you can get something like 200-mile-an-hour wind resistance without ugly face nails, right? This is all hidden fastening systems. So fantastic looking product, also coated with PVDF-based paint, which is branded as Kynar, right? Kynar is a relatively well-known paint. And again, it's going to have just the ultimate in performance because of that.
So here's another aspect of that as we look at it from the installer point of view. So CJ mentions that there's the hidden fasteners. So you're putting this up in quote unquote the rough form, but you're not going back to worry about the heads because they're capped. Also, a lot of times in our lifetime of cladding and sidings, you're having to figure out the control gap. Because of how this is coming together, the control gap is already solutioned for you. So none of this stuff has anything to do with sales or gimmicks or anything. That's the joy. As an installer, you can go because it's intuitively telling you what to do and you don't have to go back. This is brilliant.
Yeah, so touch on that a little bit, CJ. Like we're looking at the piece on the left here. I see it has kind of the U-shape, locking, mechanism. How do you secure that in place once it's there? Is it just click in, or do you have to drive a nail every 6 inches? Or how does it work?
No, I mean, you're going to obviously have to support the panels on the wall through the nail hem, which is kind of shown over there on the right side of the panel. This is kind of a side view of the panel, but people don't like seams. So this came from how do you hide the seams? Well, what you said is, okay, there's still expansion, contraction. How do you make a system with this? Well, you need to deal with the pockets on the end. And so there are some subtleties in the install that if you haven't done this the first time, you need to learn. And one of the cool things that I talk about later is we have a first nail program. So I know first of all, I'll say it, there's no perfect siding for all applications, right? There's all kinds of sidings. You've got to decide what's best for your application. We think we've got an amazing array of products, but there's lots of choices out there. So we create a first nail program that will send out an installer for the first time a contractor is doing a select job and just walk them through some of the basics so that they feel comfortable with the details about installing select. And we do this with a couple of our other high-end programs as well.
Amazing. And you're right. Not every solution is one size fits all, but like you said, you pop that on there. That fastener is later hidden because of the lap, and the lap is controlling the natural growth that you're going to see in the materials. And I was not aware of the first nail program, and Dave knows this, CJ. I'm a huge fan of mock-ups. Before we're going to do thousands of square feet or hundreds of square feet, let's start with a small section. Let's get warmed up, and then we're off to the races, right? Then you could take turns eating each other's lunch. But
Yep.
the first nail program, brilliant. That is a way of servicing the community so that their deliverables are successful.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and most of our sales guys out in the field can give you an introduction to the install, and then we've got a team of installation experts who come out and handle that first nail program. So again, it's really important you educate yourself on all the little details that make a product work well. You don't want to be dissatisfied the first time you do it, so we try to make sure they have success that first time.
I could tell you the first 5 meetings of all of those events happen the exact same way. Dave's reading my mind right now.
Yep.
And they are, I've never done it that way before. Let me show you how I do it. And we go through that whole song and dance. They get all done. You hand them a Gatorade and you say, now this is how we're going to do it when we use this product. 10 minutes later, they're better than you are. It's beautiful.
Yep. Yep. No, there's a lot of smart people, but we invented this, and we can teach you the tricks to get you up to speed faster.
That's what it's all about.
Cool. Okay. So we've talked about this, manufactured with cellular PVC, which absorbs very little water. We'll come back to that in a couple slides. It's coated with Kynar, which is another PVDF paint. It's the brand name of PVDF paint that people come and know. Ultra low maintenance, right? The best paint in the industry. The PVC is not going to absorb any water. So, it's ultra low maintenance. Available lap, shake, board and batten profiles. And you'll see in a few slides, we just introduced a wider board and batten with true full 2-inch battens. So fantastic thing, and covered by a fantastic warranty, 25 years.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, this is the sexy one. Oh,
This
yes.
Sexy one. True exterior siding. This is a polyash siding, which is made of 70% recycled materials. And this one, just like these other products that I've talked about, absorbs virtually no water, which is fantastic because that's a fundamental driver of low maintenance products. But this one also has very low thermal expansion. And so you can see in the picture on the right that you don't need to pocket it. Select with a little bit of expansion. We've got a pocketed trim system. True exterior, you can do a butt seam just like you would do with wood. So I know a lot of people really like that. TrueX is your product. It needs to be painted. We only provide it as a primed product, but because it doesn't expand and contract, you can paint it black, any of the popular dark colors, not going to have an issue. So
there's a
really
video on Instagram. Speaking of that, so yes, this comes. It's stable. It is a very nice product to work with. While a carpenter will think it's like wood, the same installing carpenter will say, thank God it's not wood because of the consistency. There's a video by our good friend Jake Bruton of just the folks spraying the finished facade. And it's one of those that went viral, right? It's got gazillions of views. And True Exterior is by far one of my most favorite products because of how it's made. And this look, you can't beat it.
It's beautiful.
Yep. So again, this is words behind it. Approved for ground contract, made with this recycled materials, and also available in a wide range of profiles. So it's very exciting product that we hope to expand capacity on. This again is where we've been sold out for the past couple of years. Westlake Royal comes in, they want to invest. You can bet we're looking at that.
Perfect. Glad to hear that too.
Yeah. No, it's can't be a great product if you can't buy it. So next thing is the beauty of shake. As I told you, people love adding texture to their house. One of the best things you can do to create a good looking home is use multiple materials on your wall. So a little bit of stone, a little bit of lap siding, a little bit of shake. fantastic. We offer 2 brands. This happens to be our Portsmouth shake, but the Foundry shake looks just as good. And so I encourage people, again, to look at these products because they'll look this way today and they'll look this way long term, right? Shake looks great. Real cedar shake is fantastic. But personally, I'm not a big fan after it's been out there for 20 years and it's really starting to decompose. So
unless you're a ladder salesman or put up scaffolding, right?
Sure.
Like that's perfect. By far, this is one of your all-time sexier products, right? It just you feel like touching your screen. And go do that, folks. Literally touch the screen. Unfortunately, you can't touch texture on a screen.
No, but we can smell it, right, Mark?
It smells like the beauty of shake.
Yeah, well, we had a crazy idea of smellable siding, but that didn't go anywhere. Okay, yeah, so anyways, take a look. We've got a bunch of innovative weathered colors, which give the look of partially weathered look that people start to like with shake, but not the ongoing degradation. So we'll touch on that in a bit. Oh, same thing, right? You want to add distinction to your home, add stone, right? The beauty of stone is what everyone aspires to, but you want to do it with the ease and the simplicity of siding. And so we've got Versetta stone to solve that need. We also have Atlas stone, which is a polymeric stone that's panelized, very lightweight and usable, but this product is stone with the ease of siding. So
I'm pretty sure you use this too, Dave, haven't you? The Versetta?
Yeah, I have used this product, and it's just like it's showing. It's simple to install. There's nothing to it, and it actually sets its own gap and spacing when you're putting it in.
Exactly. Yeah. Built-in rain screen.
Absolutely.
So highly recommend this. 3 different profiles available. 2 of those are in 6 different colors. Again, also made with about a 45% recycled content, good for both interior and exterior applications. And that panelized design is what really sets it apart. And it's a proprietary, right? We leveraged all this experience we had in things like Eldorado and cultured stone and brought it so that the siding installer could do this as well.
Perfect.
So
yeah, this is one of the few products that falls both in your siding category and your stone category because of that versatility. It could be a completely different installer crew putting it on because it gives them both the advantage of the look with the ease.
Well, and that's it, Mark. And you got to think with the trade labor issues that are happening right now, and getting the siding on a lot of times happens a lot faster than getting the mason to show up, especially if weather's been bad. They can't move around as quickly as the siding installers. So that's honestly, I mean, this is what makes sense. This is kind of like being at a job site. Look to your left, to your right. If you don't know what they do, then we need to train some more. And if you don't know how to do what they do, we need to train some more. And I think that solves some of that problem.
Perfect.
Yeah, and again, you might guess this to be the case, but this is manufactured in our stone plants, but it's sold through the siding group because we are the ones selling to the siding contractor, and this is something that they can grasp and expand the range of their business. Okay, next one. This is insulated siding. This particular picture is our crane board. But this is a composite product where you bring the benefits of some EPS foam. In this case, it's graphite infused with foam called Neopor. But you also get the increased durability, the sound deadening properties, the energy efficiency properties of putting an insulation outside of the studs on your home, right? And the energy code recognizes this as a code-approved source of continuous insulation, right? So if you're trying to do LEED certification, you can apply the R value to that. And even if you have a well-insulated home, right, it's probably got 20% of the wall made up of studs, and this is going to block that thermal bridge that can happen through the studs between the inside and outside of your home. So tremendous advantage. And The cool thing about this, it's not just about energy efficiency, because this is a composite system that the supporting foam actually helps with the vinyl. And so we get face widths that you cannot get with regular vinyl siding, right? You'll get a 7-inch face. Our board and batten's a double 10, which is incredibly easy for contractors to install. Think of putting up a 20-inch wide by 10-foot high piece. It goes up in a heartbeat, and it gives you all these great performance advantages.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That size is going to allow you to deliver more squares in a day. If you're by a golf course, it's going to increase your resiliency, right? Because
Yep.
it's supported. But here's the funny thing: like we love talking about that science aspect of the continuous insulation, but if you forget the energy topic, if you just think about this as what it does for sound, that is really great. So I think, yes, it happens to be sexy. If it's not sexy, no one's going to buy it. But then it's saving on the labor. Now it's going to be lasting longer with that stability. And good gosh, it's like putting a cooler on your house. This is our favorite conversation. Crane board, crane board, crane board.
Yep, yep. Yeah, and again, as we mentioned, the cool thing is it actually improves the looks, because we get these wide faces. People really are gravitating to sort of the plank-like look. So it's not just performance, it's beauty, which is a nice.
What is the length of these for the siding folks out there? What is the length that this is delivered?
So the lap siding's available in 12 and 16 foot, depending on whether someone's got a problem with seams or not. And then the board and batten is 10 feet. That's for
Well, if you're a seam conscious person, right? I mean, get used to it, because materials come together. That's part of it. But then design that into your aspect, and the fact that look, if you've ever been in this market, you know that 12 and 16s are the lengths. So work with that great design feature. My guess is you have bump outs. My guess is you have windows. And look, they have the supported products for it. Done, delivered. Let's get going.
Yeah. We've shown some pictures of, apartment buildings with the big end wall that's just a monolith. Put a few T-trims in there. You eliminate seams, and it actually gives some design distinction. So be creative. Don't necessarily use that extra couple feet of product. Set it aside and just use lengths, and be the contractor who makes the home gorgeous, because that's what Mrs. Jones most wants.
Mrs. Jones gets what Mrs. Jones wants. Love that.
Hey, it works in my family. It's got to work outside of this.
So just for people that may not know, does this siding hang like traditional siding does with the overlap snap?
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. Great. That means Mark can do it.
It's great. I'm still laughing. I'm biting my tongue, because Chris is the only one that could get really away with the Jones jokes. This is perfect. Keep it up with you, CJ.
Okay. So that was really just wanted to highlight a couple of our high-end sidings so people understand what we're offering. Next section was really a quick look at some of the things that are new for 2023 and what you can see if you stop by our booth at JLC.
Perfect. Here we go. This is the big one.
Yeah. So literally the number one growth profile that we've seen over the last 3 years is board and batten. And you will see that, we frankly tripled down on investing in board and batten. So with Select, we've gone to this 11-inch wide board and batten with 2-inch wide battens. And again, you're not cutting the battens and installing them. They are built into the panel design so that the nails are going behind it, puts it up, goes up very fast. You're not having to do that extra work, and looks spectacular with that wide look.
I'm telling you, Dave and I need to see this. We need to put it in. This is a hot one, totally hot one. And I remember it from the early days, right? But the fact that it's here in this product today versus the sheet goods we had to mangle before and lap and
Yep.
a whole other world when you're working by hand. This is incredible.
Yeah, yeah, and again, we're really proud of this one, and it does take away work for the contractor, right? This material is a little bit higher price than fiber cement, but when you look at something like the extra work you're doing here or in shake in the gables, Select really starts shining in those applications.
I may put that on my walls in the studio. Forget being outside with it. Why not use all the trim pieces in the board and batten and do a decorative wall in the house?
Hey, hey, you know a guy now.
You know a guy, yeah, and
I
you
know a
never have
guy.
to paint it again, Dave. It's going to be that way. Like
Right.
it's durable.
It is. So, anyways, next thing I wanted to talk about. This is a piece of vinyl trim, and I know some people might think vinyl's not that exciting, but this piece is the most exciting piece of vinyl trim you can get. Right? It's a transitional piece that goes between two courses of board and batten, and lap siding, shake and lap siding, whatever you need to do. And what makes it so cool is that we manage the water with built-in flashing, built-in drainage, so that you're taking the water coming down the top panel's face and directing it to the front face of the bottom panel without extra flashing, right? So you can see here the side view, great piece of vinyl, how it looks. And there's a video that if you could queue up, it just goes through with our install manager, Jan Beyer. He'll tell you a little bit about it.
Perfect.
Way to transition is to use the board and batten trim. Even though I'm showing it with the board and batten panel, it also works and looks great as a transition from many other panels as well. But the nicest thing about this piece is that it's easy to install and it cuts down on steps. You're not installing two channels separately, but also because the flashing is built into the part itself. To install it, first install the first course of panels, then lay the board and batten trim on top of that course, and then lift it up by about 1/4 of an inch and fasten it in the center of the nail slots about every 8 to 12 inches loosely. And then you're ready to install the second course of board and batten panels.
Yeah.
Amazing. The time that saves. This is an installer's best friend. And at the end of the day, right, all of our architects, designers, and consumers, they're saying that looks cool. That's all we want them to say, that they like it. But the installer does not have to fuss. We all inherently know exactly what 1/4 inch is because we were born with carpenter pencils, right? We know that exact space. This is a real game changer. And these sticks are available in all your color profiles.
Yeah, each of our two siding brands has it in every color. And, I wish other people would use it on other products because it is just a fantastic design.
I could see Big Dog. I could see Big Dog and Ben Bogey, Dave, stealing these from the JLC show. They're going to be loading up their trucks and walking away. Happy Westlake Day. Well said, Big Dog.
Okay, so next thing, again, so as I said, board and batten's hot. So we've always limited some of the color palette into our insulated lines. We are now bringing the 3 darkest colors we have, which is on one line, ironstone, marine blue, and urban bronze, into this. Again, 10-inch on center board and batten. The panels are 2 courses wide, so 20 inches wide, bringing these dark colors. And again, these dark colors are top selling dark colors. So we expect this to do incredibly well because of the sound deadening properties as well as the impact resistance and the look versus traditional vinyl board and batten.
Why the sound deadening? I was not paying as close attention as I should have.
This is in the crane board line, so it's all backed by foam. Yep.
So this is helping for a continuous installation. CJ, right. Can we change the middle one to Dave Cooper Live Blue? Is that something we can work on?
Again, that takes a little bit of work, but as we said earlier, you know a guy now, so we'll take it under advisement.
I think this would be cool in your studio, Dave. So when you're loud and getting all excited, and the family is trying to prep for their next hockey game, they don't have to hear Dad Dave Cooper, right? Working in there, really cool. I forgot that this was also the
Insulated.
continuous insulation. That is incredible. Get ready, folks. If you're not using this, use it, not just for the looks, but use it for the energy savings and, of course, quiet.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, as I mentioned, we have these weathered colors, and as we acquired the legacy Boral brands and Foundry, their weathered colors were selling well. But we took a look and they were all lighter colors with darker accents. Guess what? The world is changing. The world wants darker panels. And so we introduced these 4 exciting new weathered colors: denim, which is a blue based with a lighter stain; Arizona clay, which is a classic cedar look; reclaimed cedar, which is a dark brown, again with the lighter stained accents; and then midnight cloud, which is a very dark gray, again with the light accents. This gives a look of weathered shake, but it's going to stay this way for year after year instead of the degradation that you see with real wood shake.
Yeah, your architects are gonna dive into that color. That's got to be one of your biggest sellers, the Midnight Cloud. It sounds like a movie appearing this Friday at a theater near you. Midnight Cloud.
Midnight Cloud. Yeah, we had my team, various members voted on these names, and they all get their memorialized coffee cup for helping us pick them. So, anyways,
Perfect.
we're really excited. Okay, triple advantage for board and batten. We brought the cedar renditions, which is again the stained look of wood, happens to be in aluminum with PVDF coating, brought it to the board and batten line. So again, looks amazing. This was perhaps the most sought after spot in the IBS booth, and looks fantastic. So we're really excited about this.
Yeah, this is like a barn dominium dream, right? All those folks doing that. Beautiful.
Yep. Okay. How are we doing on time?
We got ourselves about 10 minutes.
Cool. Then we'll just breeze through this quickly because we talked about the products. One of the things I really wanted to talk about is water absorption in cladding, because I think it's one of the forgotten features that is so absolutely critical, because no one likes maintenance. We've done all these surveys. No one wants to spend their weekend maintaining their home. And the best way you can do that is to use a non-absorptive cladding. The absorption of water into the matrix causes the paint to flake off. It causes the material to degrade. You add freeze-thaw cycles to that, it gets even worse. Wood's a classic example, but other claddings absorb a significant amount of moisture as well. And again, as I said, there's all kinds of products, right? I recommend that no matter what product you pick, you look at the instructions. And here's a case of someone just saying, hey, if you're going to use our product, keep it away from water in a couple different locations, which is all well and good. But I'd also encourage you to consider non-absorptive claddings. And the cool thing is the Select line that I talked about, the Cedar Renditions line, the True Exterior line, and even our vinyl siding, frankly, have almost no water absorption. And that is why all the products that we sell are incredibly low maintenance offerings, right? You're not going to have to be repainting them every year. Even our True Exterior, which you need to paint in the beginning, you're going to get a longer life from that because the underlying substrate is not absorbing this water.
There's another feature there that's not in this chart, but is the same as this chart, and that is lifting these suckers, right? So typically, when you have the materials that are at the first columns of your chart, they're also something that you have to be very careful with that span, because you're a human, right? You've got to hold it, and God knows you can't let it fall or falter. So these other ones, they're lighter, and their stability also helps. So it's an interesting thing, I think of from the installer point of view. But for sure, water always wins, folks. So this topic, very important. All you BS folks know it.
Yep. Yep. So again, as I said, Select is really good for that. Won't go through this, but the cool thing here is the finish. I should have probably put this slide a little earlier. Right here is the Kynar finish. This is 152 months in South Florida. Here's some latex acrylics. So just again, part of this low maintenance story. And then a couple beautiful homes that you can get.
And real quick with that, CJ, the reason that it's South Florida is because the South Florida testing is considered like the creme de la creme, like the more harshness of the environment. So there's the whole aspect of why all these things are tested again and again, and why those choices are made for adhesion and durability, resiliency, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we'll do a lot of internal testing with QUV chambers, but it's also good to get it out there because you've got the environment, you've got the air with whatever materials are in that. So a lot of things going on. So you got to do some real life testing as well. And that's been for over 12 years, and you can still see that it's looking good.
Perfect.
Okay, some gorgeous pictures. Truex, again, one of those products we talked about, not getting some expansion contraction because of the thermal expansion and not absorbing water, leading to very low maintenance. Just wanted to show some of the profiles that we offer. And you talked about the workability of wood, right? It's really unfair to say it's like wood because it's frankly better than wood, right? You can see where we put all these screws and it's not splitting. You can not do that with wood. So it's a dream to work with. And again, it's like wood in the sense that there's not a lot of expansion contraction, can do butt joints, but I invite you to try it because it's spectacular.
Hold on to that picture there. Besides what you're seeing mounted up and ganged up on top of each other, right? From the different fasteners, look at the end grain, how you snuck one, you snuck a pretty large cap screw right down the end grain. Really interesting there. And then you could even see where someone has done some beading on the surface. I'll tell you, this is a wicked awesome photo. I should have used this to promote today, huh, Dave? Great thumbnail.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think anytime, you're showing that end board. Look how many nails they pounded on that left corner.
Right.
Right? So, no, it really is incredible, and it looks like it actually just really absorbs around whatever you're putting into it, which I think is really key as well. When you put something through, you want to keep the moisture out. You don't want to add an access point, and that's showing to me that it actually it expands right around whatever's going through it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, CJ, people are going to be creating diversions at the JLC show. They're going to grab the true exterior off the wall. They're going to run it over to their favorite tool and fastener booth. And they're going to be loading up and hitting the IG on posts of this. This is really cool. Like, I'm telling you, for people in the field, like this is monumental to see that. It is not wood. And I'm a wood lover, right? That is awesome.
Awesome.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go.
There we go.
Bringing a big screen. All good, Dave.
Yeah,
Go for it, CJ.
Yeah, well, just the last thing I want to mention, like unlike most of our other products that have a little bit of expansion contraction, you can actually miter the corners. So you see that here, you see the dark colors, you can paint it in. So again, we're proud of all of our products, but if you're looking for certain applications, True Exterior is your choice.
Yeah, that
I
top
love it.
center photo of that corner, I mean, you would almost think that that's molded in place. And then the bottom left, that's your nickel gap, right?
Correct.
Which, so what that means, folks, is if your designer or architect or design build contractor sees that, they're gonna say we're doing that, like, because that is an ultra sexy look.
So are the products colored through, or do you have to use a paint or a color on the ends when you make your cuts?
Yep, they're not color through. It's actually only primed, so
Yep.
you paint it. Right. So again, this is one of the differences, right? If you
Yeah.
want a pre-painted product, you can get Select, and we got the best coating on that with Kynar. If you want to paint it yourself and want to paint it black, well, True Exterior is your choice. So
Perfect.
all depends on what your real needs are.
Yeah, and True Exterior makes sense for that because it's the stable prime product, and then after you put it in, your finish is going to be that feature. And so if you're doing a miter corner, then you know that in this case, I think your carpenter's best friend is the painter.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay, just a couple other gorgeous pictures of True Exterior. One other thing I want to just briefly mention, because I think most people, if they think of vinyl sustainability, they conflate it with single-use plastics and what's possibly going on in the ocean. So, vinyl siding is actually a pretty green product. And the way we know that is because we have done environmental product declarations. In fact, we've done environmental product declarations for our vinyl siding lines, our insulated siding lines, and our shake siding lines. And we will continue to add to that as we go forward. But this is not CJ telling you what the story is. This is a transparent, third party verified assessment of the life cycle of the product. In fact, the process that they go through is they look at where's the raw materials come from, how do they get shipped to the manufacturing center, what goes on in manufacturing, how are those shipped to the distributor, from the distributor to the job site, what happens during the life of that, and then at the end of life, what happens. And they do that, and with a program called Bees, you can actually compare various sidings against one another. And here's this comparison where cedar shake is really quite good as a renewable resource, or cedar siding, but vinyl siding is actually surprisingly green. And I talked to lots of contractors, lots of homeowners. Everyone's surprised by this. And so, it's just an important point to remember that you cannot conflate what's going on with vinyl siding with what you hear about in single-use plastics, right? Vinyl's out there on your home, protecting your home day in and day out. It's not a single-use product.
It's 1,000% right. My first days in the green industry, I'll date myself here, but there was a fellow named Tim Hepner that took a house that was moved in Chicago, and did an incredible retrofit. And this is the early days of green programs, so LEED wasn't everywhere yet either. And his entire facade was vinyl siding, and he was getting picked on by the greenies at the time, right? Um, and and he said, "Watch in 5 years, watch in 10 years, watch in 15 years, watch in 20 years." And now, I mean, he's had the house for 20 years plus now, but he was telling that story all the way back then. And it's true because your siding is on there. This is not your takeout from a consumer supply store. This is a structure, this is a dwelling. As far as I know, people don't live in caves and tents. So this is important, but also that any certified project, and the words are important here because there will be more certified project. There will be more third party projects. Municipalities are asking for it because they can't take that on. They are requiring the EPD, the Environmental Product Declaration.
That's right.
They are they're requiring the life cycle analysis. And before we had these LCAs, and believe me, folks, most companies don't have LCAs. It's a journey that takes years and an incredible amount of Excel sheets that are bigger than the New York City Marathon. So I'm telling you, the LCAs and the APDs for a group of your size, with the amount of product line you have, that is exemplary. And watch for more of this in your marketplace. This is really awesome. Really mean that.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Go to our website. You can download the EPDs. It's pretty dry reading, but it is the facts.
Perfect.
Love it. Love it. So, CJ, did we get through everything that you needed to get through here today? We're running about 10
would you
after
mind
10.
throwing on the slides? I got just two more quick things because it's really important that, for us to. Oh, here's one more I forgot about. Just one little factoid. This is cool, I thought. We have 3 vinyl siding facilities. We reused over 41 million pounds of vinyl siding, that's taken out of the waste streams, and that's equivalent to, as you see there, a lot of stuff. So that was pretty cool ending. But where I wanted to leave is let us help you, right? We're trying to design products that are really, really good for you to use in various projects, not one size fits all. That's why we have so many products. That's why there's so many products that are out in the universe. But we're doing some things that are really cool. So our team will come out with your distributors and do product knowledge, right? The best way that you can be successful in the home, if you're selling these products, is to educate yourself. And we'll help you with some factoids that will make you more successful at selling it. We also offer color and design tools. That's where people get tripped up quite often is, what color do I use on my home? And then contractors and myself may not be experts at that, but we've got some tools to help you get through that. Our marketing collateral is, I think, best in class because we start formulating it to talk about the homeowner's needs. So our vinyl siding trifolds, selling trifolds that you'll carry into the home, talk about beauty, performance, low maintenance, sustainability, and peace of mind. One of the things we offer is the best warranty of any vinyl siding, quote unquote, double lifetime. So, at some point we can talk about that. We offer cut piece program in all of our vinyl siding, insulated siding, shake lines in every profile, every color. Call us up, order it on our website. That locks homeowners in when they can touch a piece and say, ooh, that's what I can see on my home. Fantastic. Our website, we're continuing to update it, but it's got a tremendous amount of product resources. We've also, over the past year, created something called Westlake Royal Building Products Pros. So we've got a web page that talks about this and social channels where we are giving tips, not just tips for install, but business tips. How do you become more successful in your business? Engage with us on our Instagram channels. And we are soon to be launching our Westlake Royal Building Products Pro Perks program, which is a loyalty program so that as you start off buying all these products to start across the trim and moldings and siding area, you can get some money back or some other perks associated with it. And then we have our first nail program, which again is fantastic. You can get that in Select, True Exterior, Versetta Stone. So we try and offer a lot to make the contractor successful. We know that you're the decision makers, you're the driver of the industry, and thank you for your business.
CJ, we can't wait to have you back. Everyone, flood the Westlake booth at JLC, flood their Instagram, flood their LinkedIn. Dave Cooper Live, happy to have you, CJ. Westlake Royal Building Products, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We appreciate you, CJ. Greg Ugaldi says hello as well, loves your product. You guys support them at the National Association of Home Builders. If you don't know CJ, he is the past chair, the top dog at the NAHB. So we always appreciate him here. Mark, let's just do a quick rundown because we always love to give our friends some love. We got Matt Bloomquist in the house. He had us on the big screen today, showcasing our show to all of the students. So thank you for that. Love it when people from YouTube and Kit Myers is joining us from Rochester. We got good old George Ryman out there as well. Rob Haskins out there. He said he'll be in the Finger Lakes for a certain event around the accomplishments of young people. So that ought to be great.
Perfect.
And I am remiss to say that I do not have my Live Free Contracting green St. Patrick's Day color shirts today, but I highly suggest that everybody out there, if you don't know Christopher Mashandi and his wife, you should, and you should put on their green colored shirts. They say Live Free Construction, and I think it's amazing. So glad to see them. Peter Molinar's in the house as well. And of course, yes, Aaron Jones, we will get you a Dave Cooper Live hat very, very soon. Christopher's supporting the fact that he also needs a t-shirt, so.
All right, CJ, your team's incredible. Your products speak for themselves. Durable, sustainable, sexy as all get out, and they are boundless.
Boundless.
They are boundless for sure. And hey, listen, even in Honduras is listening to you today, CJ. There you go. Gilbert Meyer.
Awesome.
What's happening, Gilbert? Listen, CJ, thank you so much for showcasing that. I had no idea personally that Westlake had so many products under their belt. And when somebody like yourself comes on this show and you talk about it and you can see the passion in talking about it, that's a key that I'm sure flows into the culture with everybody that works there. So well done.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you having us.
Yeah, great to have you. I got to run, everybody. Have an awesome weekend. And Mark, you and I will be talking real soon.
Everyone enjoy your Patrick's Day. CJ, take care, brother.
See you guys. Bye now.
Bye.